Welcome back to Shennington for the two-tone money Super 1 British Karting Championships. The OK Junior class is up next. I'm joined by Ricky Flynn. Now, Ricky, if anybody knows anything about the OK classes and the OK engines around Europe and in the World Championships, it's you, because you are, for me, a team that is constantly out in Europe racing at that sort of level. We've struggled a bit this year for the numbers, and the championship leader, in fact, Harry Thompson's racing for you. He's not here today, but we'll talk about that in a second and what he's doing. But how is it going out in Europe and at the World Championship level, European World Championship level, and what do you think we need to do moving forward to try and pick up the numbers for next year?
Good question. At world and European level, the grids are massive. I think in PFI for the World Champs in the end of September, there's going to be over 100 in both categories. So on the world level and European level, they're obviously there and doing what it should be doing. The British level and other national levels around Europe, obviously the numbers are down in comparison to that. I wished I had the answer, because the category, definitely the OKJ category, is not expensive. It's not what people perceive it to be, that there's all these fancy engines and everything that we've got, standard engine, you can't do anything to it, normal go-kart, everything like that, so you just get it and race. I'd love to see it obviously progress and have bigger numbers, because it's a fantastic category at the moment, especially the junior one.
There's big prizes on offer here, isn't there?
You can't ask for any more. You know, you got a free drive in OKJ, a free drive in OK Senior with OTK, one of the leading brands in Europe. So the prize fund, and then there's obviously other subsidised prizes as well for the World Championship. So I don't think the promoters can do any more. It's just whether the drivers want to come and have a go. And I'm sure once they have a go, they'll love it and they'll do more of it. So we've just got to try and get them in the seat to start with, really. And
we've got 6 rounds over 3 weekends this year. Now, the interesting thing is your driver, Harry Thompson, who, depending on what happened yesterday, we think he's still leading the championship, but he's decided to go up to Rowra this weekend to race in another championship to try and win that as well. He can obviously drop his worst score from this, so that will be today, which will be a 0 score. Is that a decision you're happy with?
It was not my decision. You know, he's obviously trying to win the other championship as well. He had to miss a round of that earlier on in the year because of a European race we were doing. So he's obviously dropped his round there. So this one, if he drops this one, he can still go to PF in 2 weeks' time, try and win that, and then still win the championship. So I understand the thinking behind it. For me, from where I am, I'd rather he'd be here today, because obviously he was very dominant yesterday and won everything. So, but yeah, you've got to go with what he's trying to win both, so that's fine.
Great racing again at Shennington, this time from OK Junior with Guy Cunnington and Luca Griggs on the front row, Jamie Day and Joe Weaver on the second, Kieran Long, Shihab Al-Habsi, Nicky Taylor and Alex Eads. Away we go, and they charge for Park Bend for the first time. Everybody into Cafe. We certainly don't need some squabbles as they go through. There's only 8 of them. We don't need any of them spat out to the sidelines. But once these guys get going, even though it's a small grid, it is incredibly feisty. The earlier final, we had the top 3 covered by less than 0.6 of a second. Absolutely incredible.
Lots of quality in this one. It may be a small grid, but remember Lewis Hamilton racing on a grid of, what was it, 8 or 9, Jake, when he was racing in Yamaha. Watched that recently on YouTube, that race. So it may be a small grid. We don't have the numbers we would like to see in this class, but there's quality all the way through it, and I wouldn't be surprised to see most of these drivers stuck nose to tail for most of the time.
Luca Griggs trying to close up on our race leader, Guy Cunnington. They were separated by 1/4 of a second at the flag last time. Here's Shihab Al-Habsi making the move for 3rd position. Good move there from Al-Habsi as he goes through nicely. So a brilliant start to his run as he now chases after the leaders.
I might be slightly wrong. The front two look like they're pulling a little bit of a gap, although Al-Habsi looks like he's closed that gap very quickly. A good 3 or 4 kart lengths just through the chicane. Guy Cunnington 4th in Super 1 in Honda Cadet, and then 8th in Mini Max as Jamie Day makes a move through to 4th place for Eclipse Motorsport.
Well, Shahab Al-Habsi, of course, is trying to make up for ground lost earlier on. He failed to get to the end of the last race, so he is trying his best to work his way up onto the front end to make up some of that ground. Still came home with 46 points, it's worth bearing out, because he had a really strong race, but he will want to get a little bit more than he's actually been able to so far. In terms of the championship hunt, this is going to be really interesting. If Shahab Al-Habsi starts to make a bid for the lead of the race, he's going to be really pushing hard for it.
He's the fastest man on the track at the moment. He's a tenth of a second quicker than anybody else as he went through the line last time. Luca Griggs, privateer, second on track, second in this race.
Here he goes.
Going for the lead.
So Griggs sweeps through into Park Bend, gets the place, takes the lead from Cunnington. Shahab Al-Habsi third, Jamie Day closing up on them in fourth.
Yeah, just look at how close Jamie Day got. Just because of that one overtake, it allowed him to close up on the karts in front by a good 3 or 4 kart lengths, and it's a 4-kart train.
And there's a second one for 5th position behind them. Look, there's only 8 karts in the race, but they're all together battling away.
They're on the same bit of tarmac, but those from 5th onwards have got a little bit of work to do. I say a little bit of work, a lot of work to do at the moment. Here comes Cunnington for the lead back. Has he got it? Yes, he has. Nice clean move.
That was so close. Griggs desperately trying to stop him coming through, trying to intimidate him to chicken out of the move. Guy Cunnington is no slouch, and he's no fraidy cat. He just dives for the inside. Luca, if you want to turn on me, then that's absolutely fine, but you've got to commit to it if you're going to do it, because I'm going to have that place. And now Shahab Al-Habsi is going to try and make the same move into second position. He makes the lunge. Thank you very much. And Jamie Day's going to get through if he's not careful.
Cracking racing. I've heard of the term scaredy cat, but I prefer your term fraidy cat, Jake.
So out of the Bruno Ferrari chicane they come, down this straight once again into Hanger, one of the toughest corners in British karting to get right. Once you do, you've got yourself a nice place. Jamie Day does so and dives for the inside, gets up to 3rd position past Luca Griggs, who's now down to 4th position. And look what that does with Jamie Day now up to 3rd. They are dead level, Cunnington and Day, in the point standings.
Side on championship points. Harry Thompson is or was the championship leader after yesterday's rounds. We pick out Guy Cunnington, the leading driver and privateer. Harry Thompson has decided to go to Rowra to race in another championship and miss this round. He can drop his worst score from the series. That will be today, because obviously he'll get a 0 score. So he'll still be in championship contention, but at the moment we're not taking that into account. As things stand between Cunnington and Day, they have a joint championship lead. Now, Guy Cunnington, I can tell you, Jake, as well, 4th in Honda Cadet, 8th in Mini Max in 2016, 4th in Honda Cadet, I think that was 2014 in the graphic we saw earlier. He's never won a Super 1 race. So he's going to be getting very nervous if it stays like this, the longer it stays like this.
And drivers who are watching this, or fans watching this, saying, well, why would I race in this class? There's only, there's less than 10 karts in it. Lewis Hamilton, 1998, was racing in a class where there were usually only about 7 or 8 opponents. But if you win the championship, it doesn't matter. Nobody ever remembers how many drivers were on the grid alongside you. You're the British champion in a top-level karting championship. If there's fewer drivers to beat, why wouldn't you?
And sometimes when it's a smaller grid and there are fewer drivers to beat, it can be more difficult to win that championship. Because if your big Oppo doesn't have doesn't have a sterling day, okay, he might end up down in 5th. He's not losing that many points. He's not ending up in a B final, for example. But you're right, Jake. Having said that, Lewis Hamilton did race against very few on a grid. I was watching recently, but a few of those drivers you could name. One of them in particular, Mark Fell, for example, British champion himself. There was quality all the way through that grid, and there's great quality here as well.
So we've got 8 drivers all gunning for the victory. The man in 5th position is moving forward, Alex Eads, who had a nightmare earlier race, didn't even finish. So, we say he didn't finish, but he still scored 41 points.
But here's the thing, Jake. He didn't finish, and his tyres are 22 laps fresher than everybody else's. And that's partly why he will be closing on them. He's got better tyres on than those in front. Having said that, he'd have rather had a better finish and be leading this race on older tyres than be in 5th place on newer tyres.
Absolutely. 2017 regulations, you only have 1 set of tyres to last the weekend. We got 2 karts off in the sidelines there. So they've both gone off at Wilkins. Now it looks to me like Joe Weaver and Kieran Long have come a cropper. So they've come together and their race has ended.
Yeah, So it's been competitive, obviously, all the way through the field, right down to the last two on the track. But unfortunately, as you say, Jade, looks like they've had it coming together.
Up the inside, that is the move from Shihab Al-Habsi, who takes the lead then. So Shihab Al-Habsi leads this race, and there's 5 of them battling away for position. The 6th man in the equation is no longer part of this train. Nicky Taylor, he's behind them. He races in a few championships over the course of the season. He was really looking forward to this one. He'll get a top 6 by virtue of the fact he's just keeping pedaling.
And look at this, Eads is right on the back of them now, isn't he, on the 61 kart? Is that him on the back there? It is. So Alex Eads right in the mix now. He'll know he's come from a mile behind. And he needs now, though, to use his racecraft to get past them. Got to pick them off one at a time.
This is like the great races of the Formula 100 formulas, isn't it? Oh, a little bit of a nudge as Cunnington goes into the back of Shihab Al-Habsi, and somehow they avoid going off into the tyre barrier at the side of the circuit. Let's watch that again, because I think Shihab Al-Habsi got very, very close to being off the circuit here. Let's watch.
Well, if Guy Cunnington hasn't got a nose cone penalty, look at that.
Oh.
He's got to. And look, his nose cone looks like it is pushed in. If it is, that's an automatic 10-second penalty.
Well, that is a disaster. If that's the case, he might just have got away with that one.
It was on the side, so he may have got away with it. It wasn't dead on.
Well,
he's got the lead back, Jake, as we rejoin it.
But look, Shihab Al-Habsi has now dropped to the back of the queue, so Eads is up to P2. 4th position now, that is Luca Griggs. Jamie Day is 3rd. Cunnington is now leading the race in front of Eads, but with Jamie Day in 3rd position, look, they're going to leave this race, if it finishes like this, dead level.
Tied on championship points as he goes through the line. Minute 42 on the clock, so not long to go now. Probably be, is it 2 or 3 laps?
I'd say 3, but I tell you what, there's still plenty of time for this to change. Let's watch as they come down the straight. Cunnington, look, is not defending, because he's got too much to worry about up in front to try and get away. Eads in 2nd, 3rd position for Jamie Day.
Very impressed by Guy Cunnington today, Jake. This is a really, really strong performance by him. He's never won a Super 1 televised final. He'll be getting a little bit nervous, but I'm really impressed the way he's lost places and then made the places back. So he's had the lead, lost it, got it back. Here we go, just over a minute on the clock as he goes through the line. 3 laps to go.
So Alex Eads is going to be chasing him down. Jamie Day giving him pressure as well on the Eclipse kart. But how about that? There's 3 different outfits. A privateer runner, Guy Cunnington, leading the race, don't forget, from the KR Sport driver, Alex Eads, and 3rd position, the Eclipse Motorsport runner, Jamie Day. Cunnington and Day will leave this meeting tied in the lead of the championship, not taking into account the fact that drop scores should give Harry Thompson a chance to go for the championship at the PF International round of the championship. So we're about to go into the penultimate lap of this race. They come out of Wilkins, and it's 2 to go as they come across the line. Look at Jamie Day hovering all over the back of Alex Eads.
Guy Cunnington, it is that leads it through turn 1. 2 laps remaining, so he went through the stripe that time. So we're at the business end of the race. Cunnington's got himself 3 or 4 kart lengths. Eads on the 61, Day's on the 24. Then comes Griggs on the 99. And at the back of the pile there, it's the 34 kart of Al-Habsi. So any one of the 5 can win it with just over a lap and a half to go. But the man out front is Guy Cunnington on the 52. He's got the box seat. Can he hold on to it? He's never won a Super 1 televised final before. Let's just remind you that. And he's going to go into the last lap in front. He's never been in this position. Can he hold on, Jake?
Just over 900 metres left of racing, and Guy Cunnington has to hang on to his position. They come down out of Pitts Bend, down the straight towards Stratford Hairpin. Quick check over the left shoulder. I've got enough space to Alex Eads not to panic too much in the hairpin. Good exit needed. Down the straight towards Bruno Ferrari chicane. There's a chance that 2nd or even 3rd position could change, but Eads is going to try. He has a look into the braking side for the chicane, but he's not close enough. Guy Cunnington looks over his shoulder, head down. Come on, come on. I can do this. I can get my first win in the TV final. I could do this out of Wilkins. He's got what it takes. He's got the card underneath him, and boom, thank you, victory at last for Guy Cunnington. He gets the job done. Eads in 2nd from Jamie Day, Luca Griggs, Shihab Al-Habsi, and in 6th place, Nicky Taylor. But at last, a Super 1 final win for Guy.
Guy, cracking race, very competitive, even though it was a very small grid. Just talk us through the race from your point of view.
Yeah, it was a good race. I got into the lead at the start, held it for a couple of laps, got overtaken, and then got the lead back again, and then just held it for the rest of the race, really.
Who do you want to thank for your win?
I'd like to thank my parents massively. Huge thanks to them.
Cunnington and Day may be tied at the top, but don't forget Harry Thompson. He'll drop this round as we head to BF International next time. The championship fight will go right down to the wire.